Dear students, I welcome you all to this second video lesson to discuss the unit number 2 of your syllabus, Computer Science. Now we are discussing the unit number 2, Network Concepts, and in the previous video lesson, we have discussed about the basics of network. Now in this session, we will be discussing about the network devices, network protocols and topologies. Okay, so let's get started. The hardware devices that are used to connect computers, printers, fax machine and other electronic devices to a network are called network device. These devices transfer data in a fast, secure and correct way over same or different networks. Network devices may be inter-network or intra-network. Intra-network means inside a network, or inter-network means among the different type of networks, between the networks. The first network device that we will be discussing is modem. So modem is a device that enables a computer to send or receive data over telephone or cable lines. The data stored on the computer is digital, whereas a telephone line or cable wire can transmit only analog data. So the main function of the modem is to convert digital signal into analog and analog signal into digital. Okay, so this modem term has come from the two terms, that is modulation, demodulation. So when this modulation and demodulation is combined, then we get the brief term that is called modem. So what is the use of modem? In a single line we can say that it is used to convert digital signal into analog and analog signals into digital. Because modem is used when you are using phone lines to connect to get the internet. So your computer will transmit digital signals only, then modem will convert it into analog and it will transfer those analog signals into those wires, telephone wires, and when the answer comes from the server, it will convert those analog signals into digital and then it will present those digital signals to the computer. Okay, so modems are of two types. Either these can be inbuilt or it can be external. So internal or external modems are there. You must have seen modems in your school also. RJ45 connector. RJ, it is not radio jockey, it is registered jack and the number is 45. The jack or the pin, the socket that you will see has been registered with number 45. So when you see your landline phone, you can see a jack that is fixed on the tip of the cable, that is RJ11, registered jack 11. So RJ45 connector is 8-pin jack used by devices to physically connect to Ethernet based local area network. Ethernet is a technology that defines protocol for establishing a LAN. These RJ45 connectors are used to when you are establishing a local area network. In your labs also, you can see those RJ45 connectors. Those are used to connect to the LAN. Ethernet, the cable used for Ethernet LANs are twisted pair cables that you have already seen in the previous video lesson, and they have RJ45 connector pins at both the ends. These pins go into the corresponding socket on the devices and connect to the devices to the network. Next device is Ethernet card, or you can call it LAN card. Ethernet card, also known as Network Interface Card, NIC. Abbreviations must be noted and their expansions must be learned by you. NIC, Network Interface Card. It is a hardware component used by computers to connect to the Ethernet. So when you connect the internet cable to your computer, then inside your computer there is a Ethernet card. So it used to connect to Ethernet LAN and communicate with other devices on the LAN. The earliest Ethernet cards were external to the system. They were used externally and needed to be installed manually. In modern computer systems, it is an internal hardware component. Okay, so if you have laptop or desktop in your home, then it will have that Ethernet card built in. The NIC has RJ45 socket where network cable is physically plugged in. Okay. Next device is router or router. Okay, both the pronunciations are correct. Some call it router, some call it router. So as the name signifies, it is used for routing the packets to decide the proper route from the origin to the destination. So a router is a networking device that forwards data packets between computer networks. So if there are n number of computer networks, so there will be a lot of routers established in between, and they will decide the route of the packets from one network to another. Routers perform the traffic directing functions on the internet. Data sent through the internet, such as a web page or email, it will be in the form of data packets because it follows packet switching. A packet is typically forwarded from one router to another router through the networks until it reaches its destination node. A router reads its routing table to decide the best available route the packet can take to reach its destination quickly and accurately. Because in this internet, there are various routes from one origin to the destination. So this router decides the best path for a packet depending upon the routing table. Okay, there is a table maintained by the router in which it notes down the present situation of each route, the load on that route, the distance of that route, the current position of that route. So depending on all these factors, it decides the best possible route. Next device we have switch. A network switch is networking hardware that connects devices on a computer network. So this switch is used inside a network by using packet switching to receive and forward data to the destination device. A network switch uses MAC address to forward the data. Switch is also used to segment a large network into small networks, that is called subnetworks or subnets or LAN segments. Okay, if you have a large local area network or a large network, you can divide that large network into smaller networks using switch, and it prevents traffic overloading in a network. Next device we have gateway. Gateway is a network device used to connect two or more dissimilar networks. Dissimilar networks means networks working on different protocols. It establishes an intelligent connection between a local network and external network with completely different structures. Generally, it is the system that is at the beginning of your network. So the point at which your network is connected to the unknown internet, because you do not know which type of protocol, which type of structure is being used in internet. Okay, so when your network, where your network is connected with the internet, that system is mostly the gateway. Gateway means the entry point. So the entry point in your network is called gateway. Okay, it is used to connect dissimilar networks, because you do not know about the network of internet, how it is managed, you do not know, but you know about your network. So when you want to connect your network to internet, then you require gateway. Okay, next is Wi-Fi card. It is being used very popularly nowadays. Wi-Fi is the acronym for wireless fidelity. Wi-Fi technology is used to achieve wireless connection to any network. Wi-Fi card is a card used to connect any device to the local area network wirelessly. If you want to connect to your local area network wirelessly, then you must have that Wi-Fi card in your device. Okay. Wi-Fi card is either an internal or external LAN adapter with a built-in wireless radio and antenna. Okay, so this Wi-Fi adapter will be having a wireless radio and antenna to receive and transmit the signals. The physical area of the network which provides internet access through Wi-Fi is called Wi-Fi hotspot. Most of you use this concept of Wi-Fi hotspot in your home, in railway stations, in airports also. Okay, so this was about Wi-Fi card. So here are the diagrams of some devices, network devices. The first one you can see is the modem. It will be used to connect to the computer, to network, to the internet, but it will always use telephone lines. Then it will be called modem. Okay, so modem uses telephone lines. Next we have RJ45 connector. If you can see, you can correlate this with your computer lab in your school, and you must have seen this type of connector. Then this connector is connected to the Ethernet card. This type of card is mostly pre-installed in your computers and laptops. Okay, then this is a switch. Okay, this type of device must be there in your computer lab. You can search your lab and you can see these type of devices in your labs. It can be one or more depending upon the number of computers in your lab. So this RJ45 connector is attached to the twisted pair cable, and this twisted pair cable goes to this socket, Ethernet card in your laptop or desktop, and the other end of this wire goes to this switch, and all those devices those are connected to this switch can communicate with one another. And this is Wi-Fi card. This is internal Wi-Fi card. It can be installed in your computer. The slots are available there, and then you can use Wi-Fi technology to connect to the local area network. Okay. Next, we have the topic network topologies. So what is topology? Network topology is the physical arrangement of the devices in a network. In your computer lab, there will be 10, 20, 30 or more computers, and then there must be an arrangement, the physical arrangement of those computers. So the physical arrangement of the devices in a network is called network topology. Clear? How you are going to arrange them so that the network can be formed. So different type of network topologies are there. The first one is bus topology. A bus topology for a local area network is in which all the nodes are connected to a single cable. Please note the term single cable. There will be a single cable that will be connecting all the computers. Okay, all the computers will be sharing the same media. This cable is called backbone. If the backbone is broken, the entire segment of that network will fail. Bus topologies are relatively easy to install, but don't require they do not require much cabling compared to others, because you have to use only a single cable, okay, and those single cable that will be shared by all the devices in that network. But the problem is that if there is a break in that backbone, entire network will go down. Clear? So if you are having 2 or 3 computers only, then you can apply this topology. Why? Because in bus topology, the requirement of the wire is very less. It is a topology in which minimum length of wire is required. Next we have star topology. It is the mostly used topology. A star topology is a topology for a local area network in which all the nodes are individually connected to a central connection point. And that central connection point can be a hub or a switch. A star takes more cable than the bus topology. Okay, the star topology, you require more cables. Why? Because each computer in your network will be connected to the central node, that will be a switch. So if you have 30 computers, then there will be 30 wires connecting a computer to the switch. Okay, whereas in the bus topology you will require only a single cable. But the benefit of star topology is that if a cable fails, only one node will be down. So in star topology, if one of the computers goes down, so all the other networks, the computers connected to that network will function. So this is an advantage of this star topology. Okay, so the central hub is usually a fast self-contained computer, or it can be a switch, and it is responsible for routing all the traffic to other nodes. Main advantage of a star network is that one malfunctioning node does not affect the rest of the network. Next we have tree topology. A tree topology is a special type of structure where many connected elements are arranged like the branches of a tree. For example, tree topologies are frequently used to organize the computers in a corporate network or the information in a database. In tree topology, you have a root, then branches, and then sub branches. Okay, there are some other topologies also, like ring topology, graph, and mesh topology. But in your syllabus, only these 3 topologies have been mentioned. So you can see these diagrams to have an idea of how these topologies are done. So in bus topology, there is a central cable that is called backbone, and all the computers are connected to this central cable. In star topology, you have a central network, central device, it can be a switch, and all the devices are connected to this central network. That's why it is called a star network. Okay, and in tree topology, the arrangement is like root and branches and then sub branches. Clear? Okay. Next we have types of network. So based on the network span or geographical spread, networks can be divided in the categories. First one is LAN, local area network. So it is a computer network that interconnects computers within a limited area, such as a residence, school, laboratory, university campus, or office building. Ethernet and Wi-Fi are the 2 most common technologies in use for local area network. Local area means the distance of the area of that network is not that much long. Okay. Next we have Metropolitan Area Network, MAN. It is a network spread over a city, college campus, or a small region. MAN is larger than LAN and typically spread over several kilometers. Objective of MAN is to share hardware and software resources, thereby decreasing infrastructure costs. MAN can be built by connecting several LANs. Okay, so in MAN, there are different LANs, and those LANs are spread across a city. And when those LANs are connected, it becomes MAN. Next, we have WAN, Wide Area Network. It is spread over a country or many countries. WAN is typically a network of many LANs, MANs, and WANs. Network is set up using wired or wireless connection, depending upon the availability and reliability. The most common example of WAN is Internet. Okay, so the largest WAN is Internet. Okay. Next we have PAN, Private Area Network. PAN is the interconnection between devices within the range of a person's private space, typically within a range of 10 meters. If you have transferred images, songs from your laptop to mobile or from mobile to your friend's mobile using Bluetooth, you have set up and used the personal area network. Okay, so in PAN, the distance is very less and it is for a particular time period only. Okay, so you can see PAN and LAN. Okay, private area network, here the limitation of that network is limited. Next we have network protocols. A network protocol means established set of rules that determine how data is transmitted between different devices in the same network. It means it is a collection of rules, or it is a set of rules that describes the communication among the devices, the rules of communication. Okay, it allows connected devices to communicate with each other regardless of any differences in their internal processes, structure, or design. Let us see some protocols. The first one and the most used is TCP/IP. It stands for Transmission Control Protocol. TCP is Transmission Control Protocol. IP is Internet Protocol. Actually, this TCP/IP is a protocol suite. It is a collection of many protocols. It is used as the primary communication protocol on nearly all new computer networks. The computer networks that are being set up nowadays mostly use TCP/IP. This protocol suite contains TCP, which is a connection oriented protocol, IP and UDP. UDP is User Datagram Protocol, and these two are connection-less protocols. In TCP, it is a connection-oriented protocol. There must be a proper connection established before transmission of data. Whereas in IP and UDP, there is not such requirement is not there. Okay, that's why these are connection-less protocol. In exams, you have to write a short note on these protocols. If they come in your exam, you have to just write the full form of that and some description about that protocol. Next we have FTP, File Transfer Protocol. It is a standard network protocol used for the transfer of computer files between a client and a server on a computer network. FTP is built on a client-server model architecture using separate control and data connections between the client and the server. So whenever you transfer a file or download a file, we use File Transfer Protocol. Next we have PPP, Point-to-Point Protocol. It is a communication protocol of data link layer that is used to transmit multi-protocol data between two directly connected computers. Here there should be a direct connection between two computers. Then we use PPP, Point-to-Point Protocol. Okay. This protocol was used when we used to connect to the internet using DSL lines, okay, using phone lines. Then we used point-to-point protocol. Next we have HTTP. You must remember the full form: Hypertext Transfer Protocol. It is an application level protocol with the lightness and speed necessary for distributed collaborative hypermedia information system. In internet, we have hypermedia information systems. Different type of information and media are available, and it is collaborative and distributed. So for that we require a protocol, that is Hypertext Transfer Protocol. It is light and it has speed. It consists of the set of requests from browsers to server and the set of responses going back to the other way. So HTTP consists of the set of requests and responses. Okay. Next we have SMTP, Simple Mail Transfer Protocol. Okay. It is used for sending emails across the internet. It works on port number 25 if you are using unsecured method, and port number 465 if you are using secured communication. Okay, so this protocol is used for sending emails across the internet. Next we have POP3. POP means Post Office Protocol, and 3 is the version number. This Post Office Protocol defines the rule about receiving emails from a remote server to a local email client. It also enables the users to download the mails in their computers for offline reading. This POP3 works on port number 110 for unsecured version and port number 995 for secure email connection or communication. So post office protocols are used when you are using a local email client where you download all your mails from your server to your local client. Okay, for example, in your smartphones you have an app called email, and in your laptops also you use Microsoft Outlook, that uses POP3. Next we have Telnet. Telnet is an application protocol that allows a user to communicate with a remote device. A user on a client machine can use a software that is known as Telnet client to access a command line interface of another remote machine that is running a Telnet server program. So if you are sitting here and you want to connect to a computer that is there remotely, so you can use this protocol Telnet. So this Telnet is used for remote login. Okay, so these were some protocols that are mentioned in your syllabus. So this is all for this video lesson. This was the second video lesson for this unit number 2, and we will have the final video lesson on this unit number 2 where we will be discussing the remaining topics. Okay, so go through these videos and wait for the next video.